Time for game 2 of the series from the stadium. The Padres have taken the field. Here's the starting lineup for Dusty Baker and the San Francisco Giants. Dave Martinez is in center field. Robbie Thompson starts at second base. Will Clark is the first baseman. Matt Williams starts at third base. Barry Bonds is in left field. Willie McGee in right field. Royce Clayton is the shortstop. Kurt Manwaring will do the catching. And Greg Brummett is the starting pitcher. For the Padres defensively, Guillermo Velasquez at first, Jeff Gardner at second, Craig Shipley at short, and Archie Sinfracco at third. The outfield, Phil Plantier in left, Derek Bell in center, Tony Gwynn in right. Brad Ausmus will do the catching, and Tim Worrell is the starting pitcher. The umpires tonight, Eric Gregg is behind the plate. Jerry Davis, Ed Rapuano, and Greg Bonin are on the bases.
Dave Martinez, who came into yesterday's ball game late, was 1 for 2, including an RBI single, as he stayed in the ball game. First pitch is inside, and we are underway at 7:06. Martinez, Thompson, and Clark for the Giants. As Bob filled you in on the numbers, it's 8.5 now. Whew. Braves get a little closer. Braves win a lot. Giants refuse to lose a lot. 2-0.
And the Braves losing again tonight. They're down 8-5 to the Phillies in Atlanta, 7th inning.
Thought about a bunt, took a strike. 2-1. Two and two. Bob Gwynn, we mentioned yesterday. I'm sure that Gwynn, the general manager of the Giants, likes this guy. When he was general manager in Cincinnati, he acquired him. And when he got the job here replacing Bob Rosen, he reacquired him. Now that's liking a player. Guy puts his you know what on the line for you like that, and you want to do well. And you thank him for the job. 3 and 2.
He's really a useful player, a left-handed batter. He can run, has some punch, good defensive outfielder, can even play some first base if he has to.
On the payoff to right center, Tony Gwynn is there. One away. Robbie Thompson. You saw the 9 home runs, 2 of those against the Padres, and they came in one game in San Francisco. Ball 1. Fouled by first, and no play for the first baseman, Guillermo Velasquez. 1-1.
Well, Robbie Thompson is a decent offensive player, and this year having a terrific year, batting over 300. And he'll give you that power now and then, but his main contribution to the Giants, his defense. I mean, he turns the double play probably better than any other second baseman in the National League.
Had that chronic bad back, and it really hasn't affected him as much this year. He's been very lucky. They get a lot of games in and contribute, so to speak, 1 and 2. But normally every year, if not disabled and in one of those, bad back day to day, and they lose him for days. Good breaking ball. Strike 3. Second baseman Gardner. Tim Worrell. 1, 2, 3. So the Giants have won 4 straight ball games to get that 8.5 game lead over the Braves. A strike to start out Gardner, to be followed by Shipley and Gwynn, as mentioned. This guy has really hit lately. He really has been extremely solid. 286. Boy, if it asked him in March, would you accept a 286 with this guy? Well, yeah. Duh. 0 and 2. There's the curve. There's strike 3 call. Boy, there's a lot of Giants fans here. Do you ever remember? We've seen this with Chicago when the Cubs would come in, and the Mets and the Dodgers. I never remember this many Giant fans.
Well, they're here and they're also excited. They're having a terrific year, and so I think they make more noise than the number that are here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they sound louder because they're really excited.
Time to cut it out. Sick of it. Here's Shipley. Fastball for a strike. Brummett at 6 foot and 180 out of Wichita, Kansas. Low 1-1. I used to do play-by-play of, get this now, American Legion baseball and Little League baseball in Wichita, Kansas. Summers during college on a baby little tiny radio station. Right at Bonds. 2 away.
Do any Wichita State stuff?
No. Oh, to me, that would have been the Yankees in the early 60s in comparison. I would have treated it that way. No, hardly. Girls softball, play-by-play, Pee-wee and Little League baseball, and an American Legion baseball. That was it. So that's what Tony did yesterday to get down to 11, to be at 333, to be the number 6 hitter in the National League. A scoreless game with 2 gone in the first and ball 1. As he sees Brummett for the first time. He needs 10 hits for 2,000. This one's going to be at least 2. Cut off nicely by McGee. Stand-up double, Tony Gwynn. Is he in a groove? Phil Plantier. Ball 1. Well, he had an 0 for 4 yesterday, but I think it needs an asterisk, doesn't it? A little bit of an explanation. I thought it would have been a 1 for 4, but Darren Lewis made as good a catch as you'll see this year, or we have seen, going over the center field wall to take the home run away. Tried to place that breaking ball. 2-0. At the last road trip you might have seen in Cincinnati, a pair of home runs, his third 2-homer game this year. Considering missing several weeks with that hamstring, he has had a very productive season offensively and defensively. 2-1. 18 homers, 50 runs batted in. What was that he'd hit the home run? He hit the 2-home run game the next to last day in May, and a 2-homer game the next to last day in June, and son of a gun, a 2-homer game the next to last day of July.
This is consistency.
Yes. Foul ball out in front. In the scoreless game, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and Tony Gwynn at second. And he didn't hit 2 home runs the next to last day in April because that's when he had the hamstring pull. Suffered a couple of days earlier against the Mets in New York. Wasn't playing then. Check him out the next to last day of August. And he had done it once for the Red Sox in '91. Fouled away third base side. He'll stay 2-2. Bell on deck with 2 out. Good breaking ball to strike him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Sandwiched around the double by Tony Gwynn. A man left after 1. No score. Fourth in home runs. Third in runs batted in with those numbers. If Galarraga's not the comeback player of the year, maybe he is. Matt Williams. Shipley. Not a fast runner to go for, and 1 away.
Either come back quickly or stay out a long time, and then you won't have enough at bats to qualify.
Either way, it's okay. Barry Bonds takes a strike. So what did you expect? Barry would come in here to a 3-game series and not hit at least 1 homer against the Padres? Well, forget that. A blast yesterday to right center. Among his 2 hits, 1-1. Most votes of any All-Star in the National League. Mr. Bonds, 2-1. Foul back. 2-2. We have a replay. Oh, gosh.
Look at that.
Yes.
Ah, hot potato.
Well, a full count to Bonds. Let's see, his career average against the Padres is only at .337 now. 22 lifetime homers. And 2 of those already this year, including yesterday. Not bad. And ball 4.
Well, that's his 82nd walk. Only 3 players have walked more. John Kruk leads with 85.
McGee's at .334. Who's not on this Giants club? #1 batting team, and as a team, how else can you have the #1 batting team except as a team? But they are in the National League. A mere .283 team batting average. 9 points better than the Cardinals.
Boy, of the 8 position players in the starting lineup, Will Clark has the 7th worst batting average.
Down the outside corner, good pitch. 0-2 to McGee. Yep, first in team batting, second in team ERA, second in home runs and runs. Tough defense, turned the most double plays in the league. Got enough speed, got power, got everything. Got a great closer in Beck, and their pitching has held up. They knew they'd go as far as the pitching would take them. As always, Bonds running will stay away from what would have been a double play as Shipley throws out Willie McGee. 2 away with a runner at second. And we'll see the shortstop, Royce Clayton. Clayton base hit. Bonds is going to hold. Wise move. Blantyre's thrown out 9 guys this year. He's been in the top 10 in that category. Now runners at first and third, 2 gone. And the #8 hitter, Manwaring. Fastball for a strike. And no, by the way, Greg Harris will not be pitching in the series against this former team. Greg goes tonight, is going tonight, did go tonight. And the Reds buried the Rockies 9-3. So Harris will not be in the series here with the doubleheader Friday, nor the single game on Sunday when Willie Blair pitches. That's a run. Even with the stop, Manwaring breaks it, and the Giants lead 1-0. Give Manwaring the run batted in, his 35th of the season. Giants got the lead yesterday in the first. Do it again today in the second. Strike 1. Good breaking ball. 0-2. See the brawl in the White Sox Ranger game?
I didn't. I heard about it. Did you see the highlight?
I just caught the tail end, and I just came in as it was ending. I thought, who was that? And they said, oh, White Sox, and Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura was beating him up, and it was awful. It was a big brawl. Guys were bleeding. I thought, boy, there's some bad ones this year. Struck him out. So Brummett gone. Second strikeout for Will, but a run. Top of the order, Gardner in the bottom of the third, in there for a strike. Don't feel bad. Jim Leland sees the Pirates every day, and he's not that thrilled about it. So you haven't missed anything, you know. They're going through that same what happened to my ball club thing that many Padre fans are. Off speed, fouled off to Danny Radisson, first base coach, 0-2.
Jim had that great line the first year he took over the Pirates, and they were really a ragtag bunch. And he said he knew it was going to be a long season when on opening day, and they were all lined up along the side, the foul line, and the player next to him during the national anthem said, you know, Jim, whenever they play that song, I have a bad game.
1-2.
It's an old joke.
I was just going to say, I wonder if he uses that in his banquet talks also. It's the old, hey, even if it didn't happen, good story.
Yeah, and they were a bad team then.
He checked his swing. No, he didn't. Strike 3. 2 away for Shipley. No, actually, it's 1 away. I'm ahead of myself here. 1-0 Giants. Hits are 3 apiece. Brummett and Worrell, rookies. Right center, McGee. 2 away. Who is the player? And the players really, even Barry Bonds loves Leland. So I mean, everybody, the players with good attitudes, great attitudes, and lousy attitudes, they all have in one common: they love Jim Leland. Gary Varsho played for him, and now he's with the Reds. And when the Reds played the Pirates, the Reds teammates were upset with Varsho because he was spending so much time with Leland before and after the ball games, hanging around his office. So they took his Reds bag, his overnight bag, and they stuffed it with all sorts of Pittsburgh stuff.
Oh.
Wristbands and gloves and hats and all this, and T-shirts, as a hint. You know you're a Red now. If you want to be with the Pirates, here's all this Pirate stuff. Get the message? And he found his bag stuffed with all that Pirate stuff in his locker room when they were playing in Pittsburgh about a month ago. Tony Gwynn, 1-1.
Guess what? He's free to become a Pirate again. The Reds released him today.
See? Let there be a lesson to all fraternizing ball players. What they do, they swear by Leland. Check that swing, though. 2-1. If you missed it, Tony had doubled in the first off this young right-hander out of Wichita State. Played for Gene Stevenson, right? Yeah. Phil's brother's the coach there. Now 9 hits away from 2000. Two hits yesterday. Single. Here he opens up double single.
You know, you watch Willie McGee go to the line and hold Tony Gwynn to a long single here, and you realize, you know, the right fielder for the Giants has won 3 Gold Gloves. And you see Barry Bonds in left field, and you say, you know, he's won 3 Gold Gloves. And the normal center fielder is Darren Lewis, who has set a major league record for consecutive games without an error to start a career, and who made that great catch on Plantier. Not a bad defensive outfield.
Infield isn't missing too much either, is it?
They've made about 20. They've turned about 20 more double plays than any other infield in the National League.
Got a Gold Glover at first, a former Gold Glover at third with Clark and Williams. Bob told you about Robbie Thompson, and Clayton's a great young athlete at shortstop, despite his 20+ errors. So that's why this team's doing all that. I see. Talent.
They just don't beat themselves, not very often.
Fastball missed to Phil Plantier. Phil came up with a runner on scoring position after Tony Gwynn's doubled in the second, but struck out.
Just going to say, you get outfielders making great catches, cutting down on extra base hits. You got infielders turning double plays and making terrific stops. And you know what? The pitching looks a lot better than maybe it really is.
Good point. Two and 0. Well, the Yankees are not going to get swept by Toronto in that big series in Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays won the first 2, but the Yankees win today, 6-2, New York.
Yeah, but the big question is, did they boo the Canadian national anthem?
They asked them not to, so my gosh, I can't imagine New Yorkers not listening to instructions and requests. High in the air, routine to Barry Bonds. That is all.
Well, Barry got himself a base on balls and scored the only run of the game. That was in the second inning with 2 outs. A single by Clayton got him the third, and a single by Manwaring finally got him in after Barry got a very bad jump at second base on a ground ball through the infield. Did you mention that?
No.
Well, you should have.
I mentioned he would have been thrown out at the plate if he tried, though.
Yeah, but that's because he got a terrible jump. 2 outs, got to score on the ball. All right, pitch on the way to Barry. It's right down the middle for a strike. Barry Bonds.
Maybe he's having such a big year he just wasn't paying attention.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you do tend to drift. 1 strike pitch hit to right field. Oh, number 33. That guy's incredible. Every time a ball crosses home plate, he's allowed to hit a home run, and he just did. David Justice hit his 26th in tonight's game against the Philadelphia Phillies, and now Barry Bonds hits number 33 to make it a 7-home run margin. 2-0 San Francisco. Incredible. So that is the fourth hit off of Tim Worrell, and a bomb that one to make it a 2-0 lead by the Giants. Barry Bonds, number 33, incredible. Scored both runs, drove in one of them. The RBI for Bonds, number 84, leads the league in that department. Here's Willie McGee waiting, bounced to short in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. You believe that Greg Olson got the 3-run homer to win for the Braves?
We were wondering what happened, how they.
Greg Olson did it.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of a non-hitter. He's not a guy that hits much for power, or for anything for that matter. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, that's a big win for them because they were down, what, 8-5.
Yeah, if they had lost and the Giants won, they'd be 9.5 out. They're still not going to make up much ground if the Giants won this one, but nevertheless, it's better than losing ground. The 1-2 pitch. And right through Archie Sinfranco's legs for an error. E5 out there. 2-0 Giants. We're in the 4th inning. They've got a runner at first and nobody out. Yeah, Willie McGee will run if he gets a shot. Outside for a ball to Clayton. Clayton got himself a base hit, the first one in the series, went 0 for 5 last night. And Tim Morrell, after the home run by Bonds, get his 33rd of the year. An error puts a runner on to first base. Clayton, pretty good defensive ball player, but erratic, and because of that makes a lot of errors. He's got range, he's got a good arm, but he's an erratic infielder, and when that happens you end up with errors. Like he's got 22 errors. It's a lot of errors, because that could go up to 35 to 40 by the time the year's over. There goes McGee up the middle. And no chance to make a play at second. They just got him at first base. Very tight. McGee down to second base on the movement. Clayton out of first by an eyelash. It goes 4-3. And that'll bring up Kurt Manwaring. Worrell is ready, and here's Manwaring.
Well, Jerry, it's kind of interesting to me with even with all their power and all the hitting the Giants are doing this year and that team batting average of 283, still Dusty Baker uses a lot of movement plays. He likes to have the runners in motion.
It's okay, Dusty. I like it too. I really do. I like movement. You know what movement does? It upsets everybody in the infield. They all start moving and looking, and it takes away your concentration. Takes away the double play. Nice play by Shipley. Over to third base goes McGee. Runner at third, 2 down. Padres trying to save that run. Pardon me, that wasn't Kurt Manwaring. That is Greg Brummett who was out. Manwaring was out 6-3, and now Brummett out 6-3. So we got 2 6-3s in a row. It freezes the runner at third. Padres save a run, but a home run by Barry Bonds makes it a Giant lead of 2-0 after 3.5. Here's Brad Ausmus, single to left field in the second inning. His batting average now at 188. He'd like to get it over 200. He couldn't do it with a base hit. And just fouled on the third base side. No balls, 1 strike. Braves have won 4 of their last 5 and 10 of their last 12. They trail the Giants by 8 games. Could be 8.5 if the Giants win this one. Now that's what I call a tough way to make up ground. Boy, Giants are tough too. The 1 strike pitch. Ooh, good snake. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Phillies losing to the Braves and the Cardinals winning big. St. Louis will move to within 6.5.
1 ball, 2 strikes. One of the things that I don't think a lot of people understand this, but if the Giants win tonight, the Atlanta Braves are 9 down on the loss column. It's a lot. With about what, 50 games? How many games have we got to go? Got to figure this out.
Well, this is the 2/3 mark for the Padres.
Left field, he's got some distance, and his first major league home run for Brad Ausmus brings the Padres back into the ball game. I hope they get the ball back. Brad Ausmus with a bomb over the left field wall into the deep seats. It's a 2-1 ball game. Yeah, what a thrill for Brad. I tell you, he's trying to be smooth, but you know how he feels inside? ecstatic.
Yeah, there it is. There's a little hint of a smile there. Come on, Brad, it only happens once. He only hit that first home run in the big leagues once, and there's the smile. And here's the homer. Looked like a hanging breaking ball, and it's nice to see Osmer show that kind of power.
There's a ground ball off the bat of Tim Worrell to the shortstop. Offerman's up with it, fires the first. Worrell's gone, one away. Scooped up by Offerman and over to first base. 2 quick outs here. In any event, Gardner bounces out to short, 2 down, and here's Craig Shipley.
We just got some good news, Jerry, from the truck that the Padre bullpen, thinking along your lines, made a trade with a fan in the stands and got that baseball for Brad Osmus. So that's terrific.
There's Larry Dunsing, the Padre trainer, who's got the ball that Brad Osmus hit. That'll be on the mantle someplace in his house. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good sinker. That just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Two-one delivery. 3-1. Ship is lined to left and to right field, trying to get on. 3 balls, 1 strike. And it's ball 4. Down to first base goes Shipley. That'll bring up Tony Gwynn, who's 2 for 2. Gwynn doubled in the first, singled in the third. He is 9 base hits shy of the magic 2,000 mark. And everybody here, every time Tony comes up, reacts to his at-bat. They know where he's going. Into the Hall of Fame someday, but right now heading for 2,000. There goes Shipley. Big lead. He's got it. So Shipley steals number 8. Tying run at second base. Slow curve. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was one of those lollipops just floated up there. Osmus with his first major league home run in the 5th inning, leading it off, brought the Padres back to 2-1. Now here's Gwynn going to try to tie it up with a base hit. Pretty good curveball. Throw to second base, and back goes Shipley. Pretty good move by Manroy, and a good move by the shortstop, Royce Clayton. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. The break-in ball by Brummett is outstanding if you can get in the right spot. The one he threw to Osmus, a bad pitch, was a hanger, but that one to Gwynn was a dandy. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 down. Two balls, 2 strikes. Tying run at second base, 2 down, last half of the 5th inning. Two and 2. Oh. Well, Gwynn is out of there, and a line shot to the first baseman. All right, we're ready to go now. We're into the 6th inning. Padres trailing by 1. Coming on is Matt Williams, and here to tell you all about it is Bob Chandler.
Okay, Jerry. Matt Williams to be followed by Barry Bonds and then Willie McGee. So young right-hander Tim Worrell has his work cut out here in the 6th inning, and it's a 1-run ball game. Giants 2, Padres 1. Twice Worrell has gotten Matt Williams to hit routine ground balls to shortstop. There's a strike. Well, we've talked about how the Giant hitters all doing much better this year than what they did before, or what they did last year. And Williams certainly one of the examples. That's a ball, and it's 1-1. Last year, Matt Williams led the Giants in home runs with 20. I mean, that's for the whole season, 20. He's got 24 already this year. And Barry Bonds hit his 33rd tonight. Last year, 20 led the club. That is a fair ball past Sinfrocco. Plantier will hustle his throw into second, but now Williams will stand up with a double. Now here's Barry Bonds. And let's see what the Padres do. You pitch to him, or you just walk it?
Very carefully.
And they're not going to mess around. They're just going to walk it. So it's still a one-run game. Giants on top, but the Giants with a chance to do some damage here in the sixth. Williams at second, Bonds at first, nobody out. Willie McGee the hitter. Royce Clayton, Kurt Manwaring to follow. McGee's hit the ball on the ground twice. Tough to turn a double play with McGee, who runs well, and Bonds at first, who runs well. That's a ball, 1-0. Burrell in his last start had trouble throwing strikes. He walked 6 in 3 1/3 innings. So far tonight, he's walked just 2, and one of those intentional. In the dirt. Well, that'll advance the runners. So Bonds goes to second. Williams went to third. And on a wild pitch, the Giants now have runners at second and third, and nobody out. Well, first base is open again. Padres really will concede a run on a ground ball to first or second. And maybe even a shortstop, depending on how hard it's hit. That's a base hit. Williams will score. Bonds being waved to the plate. The throw by Plantier wide of the mark. Kicks away from Osmus. And on the throw home, McGee goes to second. It's a 4-1 game, Giants. Yeah, the Colorado Rockies in for that twilight doubleheader on Friday and a single game on Sunday. If you want to look ahead, Friday with the doubleheader beginning at 5:05, it's Andy Benes and Wally Whitehurst, the starting pitchers for San Diego. Armando Reynoso will start one of the games for the Rockies. They haven't decided on the other. The pitch to Clayton misses, ball 1. Then after a day off Saturday, the Chargers playing an exhibition game here at the stadium. On Sunday, it's Doug Brocail against Willie Blair. That's a strike. 1-1 to Clayton. Burrell working his 6th inning. Clayton has a single and a ground out. It was on Clayton's single that Bonds got the bad jump, didn't score from second base. McGee with very good speed. He's aboard at second now. That's foul. 1-2 to Clayton. Giants have beaten the Padres 5 out of 7 this year and 3 out of 4 here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. Padres have been scoring some runs of late, though, so they're not out of this one yet. They've hit 18 home runs in their last 10 games. Drive into left center field, and nobody's there. Clayton will have 2, maybe 3. Bell has it. The throw is towards short. Shipley relays to third, and not in time. So Clayton gets a triple. Drives in McGee. Clayton has his 56th run batted in. And that's going to do it for Tim Morrell. So Tim went 5 good innings. So Taylor will face Kurt Manwaring. Giants on top 5-1 in the 6th inning. Padres bring their infield in tight. They'll try to cut off a run at the plate. Manwaring takes the ball. Manwaring knocked in the first Giant run with a single in the 2nd inning. He's got 35 RBIs. Considered a very good defensive catcher. And batting an even 300 right now. Ooh, doesn't get the fastball. 1-1. Kerry Taylor, only 22 years old. Most of you know the story, drafted out of the Minnesota Twins organization. And the Padres must keep him the whole year or else offer him back to the Twins organization for half the price. Fouled out of play. 1-2 to Manwaring. So it's the Giants tomorrow afternoon. The Rockies a twilight doubleheader Friday, a single game Sunday. Then the Houston Astros next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, all 3 games on the cable. And Thursday afternoon to wrap up the homestand. That one is fair, pass first with Velasquez drawn in. Manwaring will try to stretch it into a double. Here's the throw by Gwynn, and it's wide of the mark. Manwaring has an RBI double, and Gwynn is upset with himself that he didn't make a more accurate throw. So that is the 3rd extra base hit this inning for the Giants. And San Francisco has broken it open with 4 runs here in the 6th. It's now 6-1 Giants. Manwaring gets his 2nd RBI, and all 4 runs this inning are charged to Tim Worrell. So Tim charged with 6 runs in 5 innings. Here's Greg Brummett. He's 0 for 14 as a hitter. And the Padres are looking for a sacrifice bunt. Brummett does bunt. Sinfracco has it, only 1 play. Gets it to Gardner covering at first. So Brummett does the job, a sacrifice. Boy, the Giants do a lot of little things well, have you noticed? Brummett advances the runner, and with 1 out, it's now up to Dave Martinez to get that run in. 6-1, the Giants lead it. Martinez is playing center field today because Darren Lewis injured his shoulder, we don't believe seriously, in the game last night. And Martinez actually replaced him last night. And Dave getting a start today. Final now in St. Louis. The Cardinals beat the Florida Marlins 10-2. And they do pick up a game on the Phillies now, trail the Phils by 6.5. Martinez takes a strike. Braves down 8-5, rallied to beat the Phillies 9-8 on a 3-run homer by catcher Greg Olson. 0-1 pitch, and it's 1-1. Robbie Thompson on deck for the Giants. Two and 1. Giants got a run in the 2nd and a run in the 4th. The run in the 4th, a home run by Barry Bonds, his 33rd of the year. Padres cut the lead to 1 run in the bottom of the 5th when Brad Ausmus hit his first major league home run. Fly ball to left. That's going to slice into the field level seats and out of play. 2-2 the count. But the 2-1 game has turned into a 6-1 game as the Giants have scored 4 times here in the 6th inning. And the chance for more. Manwaring at 3rd and 1 out. Make it a 7-1 game. So Martinez gets a hit, and he'll hold on with a single. And the Giants just continue to swing those bats, huh? Hit number 2 off Taylor, hit number 9 in the game for San Francisco. Here's Robbie Thompson. It's now a 5-run 6th inning. Well, the Giants broke it open last night, really, with 4 runs in the 7th. Tonight, it's 5 runs in the 6th, at least 5. And a strike to Thompson. What a difference a year makes. I mentioned Matt Williams led the team with 20 homers last year. He's got 24 this year, and Barry Bonds has 33. 0-2 to Thompson. Will Clark led the team in runs scored last year with 69. He's got 65 already this year. Darren Lewis has 69, and Barry Bonds Bonds has 88. 0-2. A little low, 1-2. 73 runs batted in, led the Giants last year. Will Clark had that. Well, Bonds already has 84 this year. And Matt Williams has 75. There goes the runner, and it's fouled away. So Martinez running, fouled off by Thompson. The count holds 1 ball, 2 strikes. Robbie Thompson is the 8th man to bat this inning. Got it. So Robbie strikes out. 2 gone in the 6th. And speaking of Will Clark, here he is. Big Will has grounded out 3 times tonight, so he's due. Well, the Giants trying to make it 5 wins in a row, 8 out of 10, and trying to exceed their number of wins for all of last year. They won only 72 games last year, losing 90. They've got 72 wins already this year. Drive to left field, hit well. Plantier back, warning track, nice catch. Bill Plantier chases down Will Clark's bid for extra bases, and the Giants are finally retired in the 6th, but not before they score 5 times on 5 hits. A runner is left, and after 5.5, it's the Giants 7, the Padres 1. 7-1, the Giants lead the Padres. Plantier looking for his first hit in this series. Batting in the cleanup spot for San Diego. Fouls the first pitch out of play. Well, the Tigers won tonight, beat Cleveland 8-3. So that puts the Tigers back at 500. Well, the Tigers in June were 18 games over 500, June 20th. And after they lost last night, they had dropped 1 game under 500. That's a ball, 1-1. But winning tonight, they're back at 500, 54 and 54 at the 2/3 mark of the season. And 8.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays. 2-1 to Plantier. Blue Jays losing to the Yankees 6-2. Now, what did Boston do? Boston beat Minnesota 5-4. 2-1 to Plantier, so the Red Sox pick up a game. They trail the Jays by 2. Yankees by winning, trail the Jays by 2. Baltimore was 5 games out, and they beat Milwaukee 8-6, and now they're 4. High fly to center, hit well. Back. Martinez on the warning track. He's got it. And there's 1 gone in the 6th. Here's Derek Bell. And the White Sox lose to Texas 5-2. Ground ball right through Matt Williams. Boy, you don't see that too often. Derek Bell hit it hard, but it looked like a ball that Matt Williams could have handled. Boy, the A's in the basement in the West, 13 games behind the Chicago White Sox. Foul out of play by Velasquez, and it's 0-1. Base hit to right for Velasquez. Bell goes to second, and the Padres have 2 on with 1 out in the 6th inning. Sid Fracas hit 5 home runs since joining the Padres. Hit them all during the month of July. Had hit 1 for the Montreal Expos before the Padres acquired him, so he's got 6 on the season. And he's up now with 2 on and 1 out. Brummett got him to bounce into a double play back in the 4th inning. Drive to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It's fair. 3-run homer for Sinfraco, and the Padres are back in the ballgame. So Arky Sinfraco hits his 7th home run, drives in runs 20, 21, and 22. Boy, this was a shot. Hit high off the permanent wall, fair by maybe 7 or 8 feet, and Greg Brummett saying, oh, woe is me. Brummett still has a 3-run lead. It's the Giants 7, the Padres 4. Pitcher spot due up next. And Kerry Taylor is in the on-deck circle. fouled out of play by Ausmus. 1-1. Brent Ausmus voted by the managers in the Pacific Coast League as the best defensive catcher in that league. He was playing for Colorado Springs when the Padres got him. Looper to center field. It drops for a base hit. Ausmus has a 3-hit game. Yeah, this might take Kerry Taylor out of the ball game. Nope, it won't. Taylor's up there with a bat. Bouncer to short. Royce Clayton has it. Throws in the dirt. Scooped by Clark. There goes Ausmus to third, and he's out at third base. Not a good play by Ausmus. Now when you're down by 3 runs. There's the high bouncer. So Clayton has it. Throws out Taylor, and Ausmus broke for third. He broke a little bit late. And Will Clark, a Gold Glover, makes an excellent throw. Well, he was called out at third by Greg Bonin, so he will forever be out. But the Padres get 3 runs in the 6th on a 3-run homer by Sinfracco, and we head to the 7th, 7-4 Giants. What a wild 6th inning. The Giants get 5, the Padres get 3. Here's the pitch by Taylor, and it's popped up into shallow right. Tony Gwynn coming on. And that's the first out in the 7th inning. So Matt Williams retired. And there's 1 away. Boy, 8 runs in the 6th inning, huh? Let's see, the Giants had 2 doubles and a triple. Ended up with 5. The Padres had a 3-run homer. So he had to cycle in the 6th inning. Here's Mr. Bonds. A couple of walks and a home run. One of the walks intentional, one unintentional. In between, his 33rd home run of the year. 2-0. That's a foul ball. 2-1 to Barry. Tried to overthrow that a little bit, so 3-1 to Barry Bonds. And you can understand the reluctance of Kerry Taylor to throw a strike to Barry. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Drive into right field. 1 hop to Tony Gwynn, and Barry Bonds has a solid base hit. So Bonds a home run, a single tonight, and a couple of walks. A perfect evening, and the batter is Willie McGee. 3rd hit off Taylor. McGee got a big 2-run single in the 6th inning. Ball 1. Well, today is the 11th anniversary of one of the more unusual occurrences in Major League Baseball. Do you remember a utility player named Joel Youngblood? Played a little outfield, little infield, pretty good pinch hitter. Played for a number of teams. In fact, on this date, August 4th, 1982, he played for 2 different teams. Played in an afternoon game for the New York Mets and actually got the hit that drove in the winning run in the game against the Cubs. It was an afternoon game. After the game, he found out he'd been traded to the Montreal Expos. Here's the pitch to Willie McGee. That's fouled out of play. So he hopped a flight to where the Expos were playing. They were playing the Philadelphia Phillies. And lo and behold, he got in the game that night for the Expos and got a base hit. He's the only player in the history of Major League Baseball to play for 2 different teams on the same day and get a base hit for both teams. Boy, people looking at the box scores the next day must have said, what is this? Youngblood is in both box scores. But it happened 11 years ago today. Bonds running. 1-1 pitch is a ground ball toward shortstop. Shipley will run it down. Tries to pick off Bonds, around at second, but can't do it. And that'll be an infield single for Willie McGee. So Shipley on the cover. Yeah, McGee, boy, you could see him trying to hit the ground ball through the hole there, huh? Shipley did a good job to get to it, but no chance to get Bonds. Would have gone to third if the ball had gotten through. So that's the 4th hit off Taylor, the 11th Giants hit in the game. And it brings on Royce Clayton. And Taylor keeping an eye on Bonds. Bonds has stolen 15 bases. He's been caught 7 times. Great speed on base right now for San Francisco, with Bonds at second, McGee at first. Misses with the breaking ball, and it's 1-0 to Clayton. And some action starting again in the Padres bullpen. There goes Bonds. The ball is fouled out of play. It was not a double steal because McGee was not running at first. But Bonds got a running start on Kerry Taylor. He could have walked into third. And it's Trevor Hoffman, who pitched so well last night. One of the things Kerry Taylor has to work on, holding base runners on. He really had trouble with that earlier in the season. He's a little better now. But boy, with Barry Bonds, you just have to make him come to a stop before you pitch. And now time call by Royce Clayton. But you can see that time Taylor changed the way he did things. The last time he just took one look at Bonds and then concentrated on the hitter, and Bonds got the running start. That time he looked at Bonds, looked at the hitter, then looked back at Bonds. But took a little too much time for Clayton. Here's the pitch. Misses. 2-1. Boy, if a hitter, a base runner, can figure out what your pattern is and get that big jump, there's just very little chance of throwing him out. Bonds, with his speed, tough enough to throw him out anywhere. Ball 3. But it could be that Bonds is bothering the young right-hander enough, and Taylor having trouble throwing strikes. This could be a running situation for the Giants. They already lead 7-4 here in the 7th inning. Good speed on the bases, only 1 out, and the count 3-1. If the pitch is not in the strike zone, Clayton can just take it for ball 4. Runners do not go, and the pitch is ball 4. So Taylor walks the bases loaded. And now the catcher, Kurt Manwaring, is the batter. Well, Taylor would love a double play grounder here. Almost hit it. 1-0. Mike Rourke heading to the mound. The Giants with a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. Mark Carrion, who apparently will bat for Greg Brummett. And we'll see somebody from the Giants bullpen face the Padres in the 7th. And Jim Riggleman has to be patient this year with all this young pitching. Riggleman and the Padres feel the arms are there. They just need the experience. But boy, it can be painful sometimes when you're going through that. Drive to right field. Gwynn will have to play it on a hop. Bonds scores easily, but the throw by Tony pulls McGee at third. And it's an 8-4 game. So Manwaring drives in his 3rd run of the game. Boy, the Giants just keep coming. Low fastball, and he just sliced it to right. RBI single for Manwaring. 8-4 Giants. Bases still loaded. And Mark Carrion will bat for Greg Brummer. And here comes Jim Riggleman. So we're going to have another pitching change. Carrion hitting .324. So he's done quite a job as a part-time player. And as a pinch hitter, 6 for 23. So that's around .260 with 4 RBIs. And the new pitcher for San Diego is Trevor Hoffman. So here's Carrion against Trevor Hoffman in the 7th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. Boy, Hoffman pitched better than the numbers would indicate last night. He came on in the 7th inning. Ball 1. Struck out the first man, struck out the second, and got Robbie Thompson to hit that little pop-up in front of home plate. The one that nobody caught. It dropped and went for one of the shortest doubles in the history of baseball. Ball 2, 2-0. And then the Padres went to the bullpen, brought in the left-hander Mark Davis to face the left-handed batting Will Clark. But that strategy didn't work as Will Clark hit a 2-run triple to tie the game. But anyway, Hoffman pitched well. He's got his work cut out now. 2-0, and the pitch to Carrion. Popped up. Infield fly rule called if the ball is fair. Well, actually, it was a foul ball, so no infield fly, but didn't matter. Carrion fouls out to Velasquez, and that's the 2nd out in the 7th. So if Hoffman can get Dave Martinez, the Padres still have a shot. If Martinez comes through with a base hit, then boy, it'll be tough. Dave Righetti again throwing in the Giants bullpen. Martinez is 1 for 4 tonight, knocked in a run in the 6th inning. McGee at 3rd, Clayton at 2nd, Manwaring at 1st. So terrific speed at 2nd and 3rd. Fouled off by Martinez, strike 1. And it's really good to see Trevor Hoffman throwing like he is now, because when he first came to the Padres, he didn't pitch well at all, and he knows it. He admitted it. But now he's got the arm strength back, and the Padres are seeing the kind of pitcher they traded for. Got the outside corner. Boy, that's a good live fastball. 0-2. So Trevor Hoffman ahead of Dave Martinez. No balls, 2 strikes. Robbie Thompson, the on-deck hitter. But Hoffman hoping he doesn't face him here in the 7th inning. Martinez, the 7th man to bat. Just misses that outside corner. 1-2. Now that's a fastball over 90 miles an hour. And with some movement to it, too. Struck him out. What a job by Hoffman. Came on with the bases loaded, 1 out. He got Carrion to foul out. He strikes out Martinez. The Giants leave the bases loaded in the 7th. They score 1 run, but the Padres are still alive. It's 8-4 Giants. So it's an 8-4 game. The Giants on top of the Padres as we go to the bottom half of inning number 7. And Mark Carrion, who batted for Greg Brummer, stays in the ball game. He's in right field, so obviously batting in the 9th spot. Willie McGee is out of the game, and the new pitcher, 35-year-old Dave Righetti. So put Righetti in McGee's spot. That's 6th in the Giants lineup. And Righetti will face he'll face Ricky Gutierrez. So Gutierrez will come up and bat for Gardner leading off the 7th inning. That's a strike. So Ricky, a 273 hitter, hasn't pinch hit much this year. 7 times. He's 1 for 7. Ball 1, 1-1. So it'll be Gutierrez, Shipley, and Tony Gwynn to get things started in the 7th. Padres down by 4 runs. 3 more at bats against Giants pitching. Gutierrez chased a pitch, and it's 1-2. Fouled off again. And Ricky Gutierrez hanging in there against Dave Righetti. Boy, Righetti at one time would bring that ball to home plate in the mid-90s. He could really fire. Had over 40 saves one year for the Yankees. Pitched a no-hitter one year for the Yankees as a starter. And now he's sort of relegated to middle relief and a setup role with the Giants. And Ricky Gutierrez fouls it off again. The count remains 1-2. Ball 2, 2-2. It was back in 1986 that Righetti had 46 saves for the Yankees. And it was 1983, 10 years ago, he pitched that no-hitter for New York. One of the nice guys in the game. And it's ball 3, 3-2. Giants signed him as a free agent after the 1990 season, and he did save 24 games for the Giants 2 years ago. Had only 3 saves last year. 3-2 pitch. Drive into right center, a base hit. So Ricky Gutierrez gets a solid base hit to start off the bottom of the 7th for San Diego. And here's Craig Shipley. Craig looking for his first hit tonight. Dave Righetti, 35 years old. Speaking of veteran pitchers, glad to see Bobby Ojeda back with the Indians through 15 minutes in the bullpen yesterday. That's a ball to Craig Shipley. Ojeda, the surviving pitcher from that awful road accident in spring training that saw 2 of his teammates on the Cleveland Indians killed, and Ojeda going through a lot of mental problems, as you can imagine. Well hit to left field by Shipley. Bonds will look up. It's a home run for Craig. It's an 8-6 game. Shipley hits his 3rd home run, increases his RBI total to 20. And he drilled it. Padres now have hit 3 home runs in this ball game. Boy, the Padres on a home run binge. They get 20 homers in their last 10 games. And Tony Gwynn takes the strike. The blast estimated at 372 feet. And it's 1-1. And action again in the Giants bullpen. Padres now down by just 2 runs, 8-6. They were down 7-1 at one point. Drive into left center field, and there's nobody there. Tony Gwynn is going to have another double. Boy, Barry Bonds was guarding the line, and Gwynn hit that ball into left field. So Gwynn has his 2nd double of the game, his 3rd hit overall. It's his 31st double of the season, and now he needs only 8 more hits to reach 2,000. There it is. Fastball was up and hit to left center. And here's Phil Plantier. He's the tying run. Kurt Manwaring will go to the mound to give the Giants bullpen a little more time to loosen up. And now here comes Dusty Baker. So a delaying tactic by Dusty. And let's see whether Dusty is bringing the hook. And he is. So that's going to be all for Dave Righetti. Boy, a tough outing for Dave. Faced 3 hitters. Gave up a single, a home run, and a double. Here's Plantier against Rogers. 8-6 Giants in the bottom of the 7th inning. Plantier 0 for 7 in the series. Takes a ball, but as Ted mentioned earlier, there should be an asterisk next to that 0 for 7 because of the great catch by Darren Lewis in the game last night that robbed Plantier of a home run. And he reached the warning track with a deep drive back in the 6th inning. Ground ball toward short. Clayton throws out Plantier. Gwynn goes to 3rd. So if the Padres can get Gwynn in here in the 7th, it's a 1-run ball game with 2 innings to go. And here's Derek Bell. Bell 0 for 3 tonight, but 52 runs batted in leads the Padres in that category. We mentioned earlier that Dave Burba, a right-hander, was throwing along with the left-hander Rogers. Rogers in the game now, and another right-hander, Jeff Bradley, is joining Burba in the San Francisco bullpen. Derek Bell takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Boy, there's been plenty of scoring, plenty of long ball in this series between the Padres and the Giants. Giants won the game last night 12-7. Padres trying to scramble back tonight, down 8-6 in the 7th inning. Fly ball, but it's foul and out of play. And Bell behind in the count now, 0-2. Giant infield is back, so a ground ball to the infield will get that run in. But one of the problems with Derek Bell, he strikes out so much. He's among the National League leaders in strikeouts. And this is a spot that cries for somebody to make contact. Let's see what Derek can do. Fouls this one out of play. And the count remains 0-2. Boy, when he does make contact, he's got thunder in that bat. 15 home runs, 52 runs batted in. And this is his first full season as a regular player in the major leagues. Struck him out. So that's a big strikeout for Rogers. And definitely a time where you didn't want that strikeout from Derek Bell. So 2 gone. And it's going to be Phil Clark coming up to bat for Guillermo Velasquez. Well, now that Clark has been announced, let's see whether or not Dusty Baker is going to make a move. Bring in one of his right-handers, Burba or Bradley. Although the way Rogers is throwing the ball, man, he might stick with it. And it looks like he is. So Phil Clark batting .312 will hit for San Diego. Phil, a 3-run homer in the game last night. As a pinch hitter, 7 for 23. That's pretty good. And he fouls this one out of play. Strike one. He's got one pinch hit homer. He's knocked in 4 runs as a pinch hitter. Boy, what a good move it was for the Padres to pick up Phil Clark on waivers from the Detroit Tigers right at the end of spring training. Tigers loaded with good hitters. And so they could afford to go without Phil Clark. Padres needed a right-handed bat off the bench. And Clark certainly providing that. That's a ball, and it's 1-1. Sinfrocco, who hit a 3-run homer his last time up, is on deck. There's Archie. Base hit to left field. Gwynn scores. Can Clark get to second? The throw by Bonds will hold Phil Clark to a long single, but he gets that run in. And now it's an 8-7 game. So Phil Clark comes through again. Oh, there's the hit. A line shot to left. But the Gold Glove in left field held him to a single. And that's a big play because Phil Clark is the tying run. That's a 3-run inning, and Dusty Baker is going to go to the bullpen once more. Here's Archie again against Jeff Bradley with Phil Clark at first, 2 outs. It's an 8-7 game. Boy, you have to say one thing about these young Padres. They're scrappy. They keep coming after you. They make their mistakes. But they play hard, and they don't give up. Check swing, and it's ball 1. Ball 2, 2-0 to Archie. The rookie catcher Brad Ausmus, who's had the first 3-hit game of his major league career, is the next hitter. Phil Clark probably not a threat to run. 1 stolen base in 1 try. Line shot foul down the third base line. 2-1 to Sinfrocco. Well, Archie bringing that batting average up little by little. He's at 215 right now. But he was down in the 180s for a while. And the pitcher spot now just a couple of hitters away, so Gene Harris throwing in the Padre bullpen. Up the middle, off the glove of Brantley. He recovers, picks it up, loses it. Everybody's safe. Brantley had time, but he couldn't find the handle, and that'll be an infield single for Sinfrocco. Let's take another look. Hit hard off the glove of Brantley. Rolled behind him. He picked it up, dropped it, picked it up, dropped it, picked it up, dropped it, picked it up. Hey, Jeff, take a bite. Phil Clark, the tying run, is at second. Archie Sinfrocco, the go-ahead run at first. The Giants are leading 8-7 with the Padres batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. And here's Brad Ausmus. Hitting 150 when the game began. He's hitting 278 now, and he takes a ball. 2 singles and a home run tonight. And a base hit to the outfield could possibly tie it up. Ball 2, 2-0. Trevor Hoffman is the next hitter. But depending upon what Brad Ausmus does, Padres would likely pinch hit for Hoffman. Right down the middle, and it's 2-1. Ausmus taking all the way. Swung through that one, 2-2. It's Clark at second and Franco at first. Ausmus, the 8th man to bat here in the 7th inning. Ball 3, so the Padres get a break now. On a hit to the outfield, Phil Clark would score for sure because he'll be off and running with the pitch. And Dusty Baker thinking, hey, I had a 7-1 lead in this game at one point. He's also on a team sitting in first place with an 8.5 game lead. A full count pitch. Fouled out of play. Brian Hickerson warming up in the bullpen. If he comes on, he'll be the 5th pitcher used by Dusty Baker tonight. Dusty used 5 pitchers last night. So did the Padres. So we'll do it again. Billy Beane in the on-deck circle to bat for Hoffman. And strike 3. So Ausmus fooled on the pitch. Brantley made a good pitch. The Padres are gone in the 7th. But the scrappy youngsters scored 3 runs on 5 hits. 2 are left, and we go to the 8th. The Giants lead at 8-7. So Trevor came on with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th. He got carry on to foul out, struck out Dave Martinez, and the Padres have pulled to within a run. So it's a good one here in the 8th. Thompson takes ball 1. Trevor Hoffman is throwing hard tonight. Drive into center field. And Robbie Thompson, a good fastball hitter, gets a solid single to center. Well, 0 for 4 tonight. That doesn't happen very often. Hit the ball hard his last time up. Plantier catching the ball on the warning track and left. Ball 1. To right field, Tony Gwynn will not get it. That one goes into the bullpen. Thompson is heading for the plate, and he will score. It's an RBI double for Will Clark, and the Giants lead by 2, 9-7. Here's Matt Williams. Hoffman, remember, due to lead it off in the bottom of the 8th. Popped up. Who's got it? Ausmus says he does, and he does. Boy, you can bet everybody was yelling down there tonight. So there's 1 away in the 8th. Will Clark at second. And here's Barry Bonds, and guess what? The old IW, intentional walk. This will be his 2nd of the game. So it's an especially smart move now because the pitcher is the batter. And let's see if Brantley is up there to bunt. Brantley, a decent athlete. 3 for 24 as a hitter with 3 runs batted in. 1 sacrifice bunt. Pickoff play at second. Good move by San Diego, but Will Clark gets back. Nine to 7. The Giants lead by 2. Bunted foul. Padres still looking for the bunt. Phil Clark creeping up at first, and Franco on the grass at third. He's charging. It's bunted to Sinfranco, who fires to third in time. Boy, and that's one of the plays the Padres worked on this afternoon. And it pays off there. So runners at first and second, 2 gone for Royce Clayton. Ball 1. The runner at second, Barry Bonds. You know he can run. Not the spot, though, where you would expect him to steal third, not with 2 outs. With his speed, he's going to score 99 times out of 100 on a base hit to the outfield. Ball 2, 2-0. There goes Bonds for third, and it's fouled away. 2-1. So Barry will return to second. Giants led 1-0 and 2-0. Then it was 2-1. Then it was 7-1 Giants. Then 7-4 Giants. Then 8-4 Giants. Then 8-7 Giants. Now 9-7 Giants. We're in the top of the 8th. Hoffman hoping to catch Barry Bonds and trap him in between second and third. Looked like Barry might have been going, too. I think he's got Trevor Hoffman's move read pretty well. He's going. And it's a fly ball foul down the right field line. Somebody who runs like Barry Bonds really is difficult to throw him out. That is a foul ball. Not foul by much. Royce Clayton's had a decent night. A single, ground out, a triple, and a walk. He scored a run. He's driven in a run. Played flawlessly in the field. Looks like the Giants have themselves a gem in Royce Clayton. They thought he was going to be good last year, but he didn't have a very good rookie season. He's been doing much better this year. Drive to left field. It's a base hit. So Bonds will score. Stopping at second base, Jeff Brantley. And it's now a 10-7 game. So the Giants have jumped on Trevor Hoffman here in the 8th. Trevor did a great job in the 7th. But the Giants have come right back in the 8th. There's the catcher, Kurt Manwaring. He's had a 3-hit game. He's knocked in 3 runs. He takes a strike. Speaking of catchers, happy to see our old buddy Mark Parent. Came up in the Padre organization. He's been in the minor leagues for the Orioles, and they called him up yesterday. Drive into right field, base hit, 1-hop to Gwynn, and Brantley will stop at third. 4th hit of the night for Kurt Manwaring. And it could be that Trevor Hoffman is running out of gas. Gene Harris in the bullpen, and yeah, here comes Jim Riggleman. So it looks like we're going to have a double switch. And it'll be Harris coming on to face Mark Carrion. So here's Gene Harris against Mark Carrion. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Giants up by 3, 10-7. Fouled away by Carrion. Carrion, 2nd inning in a row. He's batted with the bases loaded. Trevor Hoffman got him to foul out to first in the 7th. And let's see what Gene Harris does here in the 8th. That's a ball, and it's 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. One of the problems with Gene Harris, he occasionally has trouble finding that strike zone. And a walk here would force in a run. Ball 3, 3-1. Fly ball to shallow right. Who's got it? Looks like Craig Shipley has it. And that retires the side.
Higgins, Gutierrez, Shipley. 9-1-2. Foul back out of play. Strike 1. Every game is done because the Angels finished in Anaheim, except this one in Major League Baseball. But they do take a little longer to play when you're scoring all these runs and getting all these hits and pitching changes and conferences on the mound and like that. 0-2 to Higgins. A .234 average for the young catcher, who obviously figures to catch a lot less now that they know Ausmus is the quote guy of the future end quote, and they've got to get him in there. One away, Robbie Thompson. Gutierrez at the top of the order is a pinch hitter in the 7th. Got a big single, and the Padres did make it very interesting in that 7th with a 3-run inning. As I mentioned, to get to within a run, but then the 2 in the Giant 8th, and suddenly 10-7 San Fran. Rather large cut there, huh? Strike 1. That Angel final, by the way, Kansas City beats the Angels 3-2. Fastball missing, 1-1. He had that quiz on the board before. The only team that has never finished in last place. See that in Major League Baseball? I quite frankly did not know. And it was Kansas City Royals. 2-1.
Not bad considering they were an expansion team.
Brantley, the Alabaman. Fastball foul back, 2-2.
Of course, the Royals lost a tough one last night. They pick up Stan Belinda to help their bullpen. Got Belinda from the Pirates, and Belinda dished up a 2-run homer in the 9th inning, and the Angels won that game.
I recall he did that a few times as the Pirate. He had some great games for the Pirates, but he also gave up a lot of late dingers to lose. 3-2. And gave up the big hit in the playoffs. And had Pittsburgh fans down on him. Fastball struck him out. So Brantley gets a second strikeout, 2 gone in the Padre 8th. Shipley, the 3rd of 3 home runs on the 2nd pitch to him for a 2-run shot in the 7th. They have certainly utilized the long ball to get into this thing and make their comebacks, as they did yesterday with Bell and Clark, today with Ausmus and Fracco and Shipley. So 20 home runs in 10 games. Ow.
Well, Brantley likes to pitch inside. And every once in a while, you're going to have one get away. Remember when he nailed Benito Santiago a few years ago?
You bet. Trying to duck out of the way, broke his arm. Giants have used a lot of Padres for target practice over the years. Trevor Hoffman, Trevor Wilson, and Fred McGriff on the big brawl in Candlestick last year. And lots of others. So Tony, double, single, double, plus a smack crush line drive caught by Clark. Ball 1. 8 hits away from 2,000. Had him leaning, but not quick enough to get him. Shipley back. In fact, I remember the year that Brantley hit Santiago. They were both selected for the All-Star team. Brantley obviously added with the pitchers, and Santiago was voted on by the as the starting catcher, but he had the broken arm. And they did see each other on the National League bench. And Brantley did extend his hand and shake hands, but they didn't have a conversation, as was reported then. Not an apology, just one of those, like Bob said, I pitch inside. Too bad he didn't get out of the way. Tony Gwynn, 4 hits, 7 away from 2,000. Shipley will hold at second, and the tying run comes to the plate again. Two singles, 2 doubles, and Tony Gwynn another 4-hit game. He's had 3 5-hit games this year.
And here comes Dusty, who certainly is getting his exercise in this game today. And we may see. Want to see Rod Beck?
Yep.
Yeah.
So here is Plantier. 0 for yesterday, 0 for today. 0 for 8 in the series. Robbed, of course, on the Darren Lewis play over the center field wall, but nonetheless an 0 for 8 in counting. Shipley at second. Gwynn at first. And ball 1. Beck fastball, slider, split finger. 24 straight saves, a National League record. Laid off. 2-0. After Plantier's bell, but again 2 on 2 out here in the 8th inning. Rod Beck was an all-star this year in Baltimore. Whoa! Gone deep! Tied at 10. It's a 2-0 pitch, Robert.
You know, he got the fastball. He was sitting fastball, and whoa, end of Rod Beck's streak.
Bell takes ball 1.
And you know, Plantier, as he was trying to look cool running around the bases, as we take a side look at the swing, had to be thinking, all right, Darren Lewis, catch that one.
438 feet, which is the 3rd longest home run in this ballpark this year, behind a 440 by McGriff, a 439 by the guy at the plate, Derek Bell, and now 438. Derek was trying to put him ahead there. 2-1. The kid from Poway goes deep for his 19th. RBIs 51, 52, 53. Tied at 10. 2-1. 3-1. Phil Clark next. Well, as Jack Bennett used to say, well. Fastball for a strike, full count. Fifth home run this year that Beck's allowed in 51 innings, 5 long balls. Foul back. Tried to challenge him with the fastball. Got it up a little, got away with it. We'll do it again on the full count. This game is 3 hours and 1 minute old here in the 8th. In the air, didn't get it. Center field. That's Dave Martinez. What an inning, huh? What a game. So, starting over in the 9th inning with the top of the order for San Francisco against Gene Harris. Brought him into a game they were down 10-7. Now he takes over. It's his ball game. Worrell's off the hook. So's everybody else. Namely Taylor Hoffman. Ball 1. Martinez, Thompson, and Clark. Or if the Braves are watching their players at home or wherever on the satellite and saw that home run by Plantier, they loved every second of it. Line foul, third base side. It's 1-1. Because the Braves came from behind on a 3-run homer by Greg Olson in the 8th to beat the Phillies 9-8. So they could pick up a game if the Padres can win it. Giants beginning 8.5 up on the Braves. Almost hit him, 2-1. And of course the Cardinals have gotten a game because they won. And the Phillies did lose that game to Atlanta. So the Cardinals are 6.5 out in second place. "20 runs, 31 hits, 2 errors. 3-1. Becomes very aggravating this year when you see that. The great comebacks and so forth, and then lead walks the next inning or walks to the pitcher, stuff like that. That, quite frankly, aggravates me. Fastball 3-2. Martinez has 1 hit in 5 tries. That was an RBI single back in the 5-run 6th when the Giants batted around and chased Tim Worrell. Here we go. The lead man aboard in the 9th inning. This Giant club, big time stick guys. So that's why they lead the league in hitting. I see. And second in home runs and first in runs and all those other numbers. Jeez. Robbie Thompson, they really have everything. Everything. Sacrificing, playing for the run. Harris made a great stop, can't get him. Terrific effort. That's the 3rd hit tonight, 3rd single for Robbie Thompson. That gets the tie-breaking run to second. Giants come right back at you. No quit in him. Made the grab. If he doesn't fall down, he makes the play easily. '18 Giant hits. That double was in the 8th. That slider is laid off, ball 1. Fastball, 2-0. Gene Harris is trying to regain his form, that's all. He had it for 3 months. He lost it before the All-Star break. It hasn't come back. Bob mentioned the save Sunday, and it's literally game-saving, home run-saving catch by Tony Gwynn over the wall. Well, that would have been a Reds win. Missed the slider. 2-1. Martinez at second, Thompson at first. There's some speed out there. And Martinez faster than Thompson. He's the tying run at second base. They're going. Center field. Got a chance to double him up at second base. They do. Martinez doubled up. Thompson got back to first. Two away with now the tying run at first base. He wasn't watching the play. He took off. He never looked back. 8-6 double play. 2 gone. Matt Williams. Just shaking his head. Well, gee whiz, Dave. Turn around. It's going to center field. You had time to get back. He ran like that ball was hitting the gap. It never was. It was right at the center fielder. Comes sidearm, fouled out of play. So he gets ahead of Matt Williams. His only hit was that base hit in the sixth, the double. That was the leadoff double. It started 9 men coming to the plate for San Francisco in a 5-run sixth that gave him a big lead at the time. That made it 7-1. Then the Padres get 3 to go to 7-4. Became 8-4. They get 3 to go to 8-7. Giants get 2 to go to 10-7. The Padres get the 3-run homer by Plantier against Beck. 2 out in the 8th. 10-10. I love a pitcher's duel, don't you? Tough chopper. Can he get him? No. Smart not to even attempt to throw. A Baltimore chop, and Williams beats it out. So they again get the tie-breaking run to second base. Matt Williams has the 3rd hit this inning, his 2nd of the game. No chance for Sinfranco. It's just a hit all the way. Guess who's coming to the plate? Well, 2 people actually. Jim Riggleman and Barry Bonds. Wouldn't you know it? If he goes for Bonds, then obviously he wants the left-hander Mark Davis. That's a no-brainer. Yesterday that did not work out. Last Friday in Cincinnati it did, so who knows? He'll double switch here. 19 hits, the most in any game. The Rockies got 18 in that ball game in Denver on June 19. 19 hits. That's the most. The most runs they allowed was that 17 to the Rockies in the 17-3 Saturday night massacre. Now 10-10 tie. 2 out, runners at first and second, and Bonds. The curve from Mark Davis. Ball 1. So he's made 11 appearances now for the Padres. In the previous 10, an 0-1 record, but with 3 saves. ERA is high, 4.91. Bonds has homered. Curve for a strike, 1-1. He's homered, he's singled, he's walked 3 times. Twice intentionally. There's a big shock. Line drive. Phil Clark caught it on the fly. Rally over. So tied at 10. Clark. A pinch single to knock in a run in the 7th. Stayed in the ball game. Playing first base. Rod Beck took over. It's his game. The 2 closers are aboard now, battling it out. Harris and Beck. That was one wicked slider, was it not? Strike 1. Has he got the perfect scowl or not? Winner of the Goose Gossers look-alike contest. Not quite as big as Goose. More portly. 0-2. Imagine Gossage, what is he now? 50, 55? Still pitching for Oakland and pitching fairly well, but for a club that's going basically nowhere. Close, 1-2. Oakland in last place in the West, 14 games out and done. Even their pitching experiment's been abandoned. They've tried everything. Fouled off. They did not try to keep Ricky Henderson, of course, who could leave after this year as a free agent, and they'd wind up with draft choices at best. Instead, they made the trade for the pitcher and the player to be named later from Toronto. But Tony La Russa had, and again, Tony sometimes gets accused of overmanaging, whatever, whether it's true or not. But he had said, well, nothing's working, so we'll set a pitch limit. And no pitcher will go more than 50, 5-0. 50 pitches will take him out no matter what the score is. Did it hit him? Yes. They'll take the lead man on in the bottom of the 9th. Brantley hit a batter. Beck hits a batter. Not quite what he wanted to do here, to put the winning run on in the 9th. Didn't exactly try to get out of the way, but really, where was he going to go? How could he? He couldn't. You know how many guys Rod Beck has hit this year? 1. Right there. Jarvis Brown with speed as the winning run will run at first base for Phil Clark. And Sinfranco to the plate. A 3-hit day with 2 singles and a 3-run homer in the 6th. So anyway, La Russa decided he would do this, and then decided he would not do this 50 pitch limit, and then rotate his bullpen and so forth, and not let his starters go too deep into the game, and that way he could actually bring them back every 4th day, use a 4-man rotation, whatever he wanted to do, and then it didn't work, and he stopped it. Gee, sounded like a good idea at the time. Bunting, nice one by Sinfranco. Sacrifice, 3-4. The winning run's at second base with 1 out in the 9th. Nice job by Sinfranco. That's his 2nd sacrifice hit of the year. So Bean, who came in on the double switch to play center. First base is open. They don't want to pitch to the left-handed batter, although another left-hander is next. Higgins in the 9th spot. This way they'll set up the force. Every imaginable move from a strategy standpoint is basically done. They're going to be run out of the players real soon. First walk for Beck, and it's intentional. That'll put him 1st and 2nd. This run, of course, means nothing anyway. And they can get a force at 3rd. Higgins is next in the 9th spot after coming in during the 8th. that's the standard Aretha Franklin intentional walk song, but it's not a matter of respect in this case. It's a matter of strategy. When they walked Barry Bonds in this game, it was a matter of RESPECT. Not this particular situation, but a nice song nonetheless. A moldy golden oldie. Bottom of the 9th, 10-10 tie, 2 on, 1 out. Higgins. Missed the split finger, strike 1. Jarvis Brown with plenty speed. He represents the winning run. He didn't come any closer to that one than the first one. They're both the same. 0-2. Importantly, after Higgins, the right-hand hitting Ricky Gutierrez in the leadoff spot, who has had a lot of clutch 2-out hits this year. Number foul. It'll stay 0-2. Three hours and 20 minutes into the 9th inning with 2 on and 1 out. What was that game we played in Cincinnati last Friday? 3:48. That was the longest 9-inning game in Padre history. Don't think they got a shot. Outside shot. Foul back and a fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. Boy, did they find a gem here. Whoever heard of Rod Beck before last year? He'd been with him since '86. They get the 1, and that's all. So that moves the winning run to 3rd, albeit with 2 out. They force Bean at 2nd for the 2nd out. Jarvis Brown, the pinch runner, at 3rd. It's up to Gutierrez. I mentioned all those 2-out hits. Well, now would be a good time, Ricky. Really, it would. Came in as a pinch hitter with a single in the 7th. There you see that, and a strikeout in the 8th. Against Rod Beck from Burbank. 6'1", 236, huh? I believe the 236. I don't believe the 6'1". Fastball right down the middle, strike 1. Grant High School in Van Nuys. Lives in Scottsdale, where, of course, the Giants train in spring training. Jarvis Brown, the pinch runner for Phil Clark, who was a hit batsman to start the 9th. Tied at 10. 2 gone. Breaking ball missed, 1-1. Bean going. They won't throw down to 2nd. That one doesn't mean a thing. A ball and 2 strikes, Gutierrez. Second and third, 2 gone. Fouled off. Thought he had him struck out. Just got a piece of it. Alive. No stolen base, by the way. On Billy Bean going to second. Phil Plantier tied it with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th. Everything but a hit in this inning, huh? And there will be none. Extra innings, which has not been the Padres' forte so far this season, I guess. They're 2-10 in extra innings. They'll try again to get their third after 9. A 10-10 tie. Now Brian Hickerson is the new pitcher. 2, 3, 4 batters, so a shot here in the 10th of a tie. Shipley, Gwynn, Plantier, Scarsoni is at second base, and a change for the Giants. Out of play, first base. So put the pitcher Hickerson there, Scarsoni at second. Hickerson will bat second, where Robbie Thompson in the second spot made the last out of the top of the 10th. In the air, however gently, the shortstop Royce Clayton. 1 away. I get that 15, 16 inning feeling just now. Came over me. I felt a shudder in my body. Yeah, I did. Tony, can you take us home? Well, he's done his part. He's had 4 hits tonight. A pair of singles, a pair of doubles. What a performance. A breaking ball from Hickerson. Ball 1. So he goes from needing 11 to needing 7 for the 2,000 mark. That doubleheader looks like the target date. Starting at 5:05, no television. Friday against the Colorado Rockies. There's a line drive and a base hit. He'll hold him to 1. His 4th 5-hit game this year. Unbelievable. What a show. What a player. He hung a breaking ball. I thought he turned on it to get a double, which would have been key here, of course. Not the case. 3 singles, 2 doubles. 4 5-hit games in 1993. Six hits. 2,000. Hey, if this goes long enough, he gets it tomorrow during the day game instead of the doubleheader. So the announcement here now for Tony on the public address system, the 4 5-hit games in 1 year ties the major league record. Only 3 others have ever done it. You know who? Wee Willie Keeler, Stan the Man Musial, and Ty Cobb and Tony Gwynn. Line foul. Look out to Plantier. 1-1. So Tony had done it 5-hit games 3 times in his career coming in this year, and now 4 times just this year. Plantier's last at bat, a 3-run homer with 2 out in the 8th against Rod Beck to blow what looked like a Giants 10-7 win into a 10-10 tie. It still is in the bottom of the 10th. Gwynn represents the winning run. Good breaking ball from Hickerson. Wow, ball and 2 strikes. Hickerson worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a base hit and a strikeout yesterday. Down the line. Foul ball. Oh, a fun night at the old yard. 1-2 with Gwynn back to first and Plantier back for the Lumber. The home run tonight, the 3-run shot, the only hit for Phil. He'd started out over 8 in the series after being robbed by Darren Lewis on the ball that was going over the wall yesterday. Hickerson, an ERA pretty high, 4.93 with a 5-2 mark. They've used Hickerson as a reliever. They tried him as a starter, as their 5th starter. He didn't pitch well, and he pitched himself out of that role. Now he's back in the bullpen. From Bemidji, Minnesota. 6'2", 200-pounder. Got him in a trade from the Twins, in fact. Hit the bat, fouled it back. Also caught some Manwaring. 1-2. Now back to business. Kurt Manwaring says he's okay. Listen, Kurt, take your time next time. Now Plantier, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gwynn at first, 1 out, bottom of the 10th, tied at 10. 5 minutes to 11, and obviously everything else in baseball is finito. Hickerson following Brummett, Righetti, Brantley, Beck. Beck an inning and a third, and hit a run, an intentional walk, a strikeout, a home run, and a hit batsman. A little bit of everything. Game belongs right now to Hickerson and Davis. Going is Gwynn, fouled off. We'll do it again, 1-2. Davis is in mark. The kids said they were coming to the ballpark. They were going to meet me here. They never showed up. They missed a great game. Well, an entertaining game, not great in terms of the strict sense of textbook baseball, but who cares? Coleman's working next door alone. I want to lean over to make a face, but I can't get out that far. Again, 1-2 to Phil. Nice block by Manwaring. He is a good catcher. 2-2. They really thought he was, at the time when he was very young, he being Manwaring, they still had Terry Kennedy as their quote veteran journeyman still there to teach these guys, and then they brought up Steve Decker, who's now with the Marlins, and they thought, boy, this guy's going to be great. 15 home runs in Double-A's, got power. He was a bust, and they did not protect him, and they lost him in the expansion draft. In the air, in the infield, now beyond into shallow center. That's Dave Martinez. Big time second out. Did not advance the runner. That was the bad part. Two out and Tuffle. So they'll go to the bench with the right-handed bat for Mark Davis. Tuffle yesterday started at second. He was 2 for 4. He had 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats. Hasn't had a lot of success as a pinch hitter. Had a big one in Chicago last week, though. Single with 2 out, driving a couple of runs and tied the game at the time. But overall, as Pedro Martinez, who was up, about 2 hours ago, is up again. Tuffle 2 for 22 as a pinch hitter. Did get a 6th home run Sunday against Tom Browning in Cincinnati. In the Padre victory. Fastball away, 2-0. Brian Hickerson on for the San Francisco Giants. The Braves have won. Foul back, 2-1. Came from behind in the 8th on a 3-run homer by Greg Olson to beat the Phillies 9-8. That made the Cardinals happy because the Cardinals won a ball game and are now 6.5 out behind the Phillies. Still making it a race, thank goodness. Speaking of races, Kansas City won over the Angels in Anaheim 3-2. And the White Sox lost. So Kansas City goes to within 4.5 of Chicago. Texas won its game. So they go to 5.5. Nolan Ryan, in the middle of a brawl, did get his third win against 3 losses. Foul back, threw him a fastball, 2-2. In the 10th, tied at 10. Tony Gwynn at first base, held on by Will Clark. Fisted him in the air. Clark will handle it. Will play 11.
And the pitch is over for a strike. So, what a wacky game.
Thank you. Well, nice description.
Yes, I just thought I'd sum it up. That's out of play, 0-2. I remember the old days, you would have to leave to get back for the 11 o'clock news.
Yeah.
And I used to do the game standing down, you know, by the camera near the first base dugout.
Be specific. The bad old days, you mean, not just the old days. The old 11 o'clock news. Now it's like semi-retirement without it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Clayton.
Just thought he'd come up here with his Barbara Walters description. A wacky, wacky game.
There was one time, right? You went back, did the news, and then returned to the stadium.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Well, you know, you could almost do that tonight. I mean, it's 11:24.
Sure. Almost did it a second time, too, on a 16-inning game. I was on my way back when it ended.
Ground ball on the right side. And Shipley throws out Clayton.
Remember that game when Earl Hershiser broke Don Drysdale's consecutive shutout inning record?
Yeah.
And then later on, it went into 16, and Mark Parent hit a home run on the 16th to win it. I had done the 11 o'clock news, was in the car driving back to rejoin the group when Parent hit the home run, and I turned around and went on home.
Said, okay.
Okie dokie, U-turn.
Well, here's Kurt. Speaking of catchers, here's Kurt Manwaring, who's had a 4-hit night. He's knocked in 3 runs. But Martinez should get him, and does.
And speaking of Mark Parent, he was called up yesterday by Baltimore.
Yeah, I was glad to see that.
Yeah, Hoyles is going to be gone at least 3 days with an injury, and so Mark got the call from their AAA club in Rochester. Still hanging in there.
So 2 outs, nobody on. It's a 10-10 tie in the 12th inning. And Mark Carrion is the hitter. At one point, the Giants led in this game 7-1. That's a ball. The Padres had 3 straight 3-run innings. They got 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. The 3 in the 8th, a gigantic home run by Phil Plantier, well over 400 feet. 2-0 to Carrion. Carrion with the power to hit 1 out.
I'm hungry. You hungry? Any food around here? I don't think they're still serving in the sky boxes, or we can go down and raid them.
Well, you go down to the Padre clubhouse. 3-0. You know, they have a post-game spread.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of the players are out of this ball game that they're in there playing cards and watching on TV.
Yeah, like I'll ask one of them to bring me up something.
Oh, sure. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, 3-1.
They'll be pulling muscles moving so fast.
Actually, they can't serve the meal. They can't serve the meal until the game ends.
They will serve no food before it's time.
Before it's time.
That's right.
3-1 to Carrion. High fly to center, but not deep. Jarvis Brown is there. And that'll do it. So Pedro Martinez pitches his 2nd straight shutout inning. We go to the bottom of the 12th. It's a sudden victory situation for the Padres. It's a 10-10 tie. So Ricky Gutierrez against Brian Hickerson. This game began at 7:06. So it's a 4-hour, 23-minute game, and it's not over yet. We have been involved in some long games this year. Fly ball, foul out of play down the right field line. Don't think we'll match that one in Philadelphia, though, just a little over a month ago.
Not in our lifetime, I don't think. Nope. I forgot the times of the take me out to the ball game in the 7th inning stretch. It was like what was it? Midnight and 3:30, something like that.
That's about when Andy Bennett said he started feeling a little shaky on the mound. 3:30 in the morning. There's a foul out of play, and it's 0-2. Well, the second game ended at 4:40 in the morning. You and I watched the sun start to rise as we headed back to the hotel.
Sure.
Ricky's 1 for 3. Drive to center. It is a base hit. So Gutierrez leads off the 12th with a single to center. Padres have their leadoff man aboard, and let's see how they play it. You'd say, hey, with Shipley up and Tony Gwynn next, have Shipley sacrifice, and then Tony has a chance to drive in the winning run. Yeah, right. The chances of Hickerson pitching to Gwynn in that spot, forget it. So what you would have is Hickerson pitching to Plantier with runners at first and second. And then the pitcher spot is after Plantier, and the Padres have no pinch hitters left. So what would you do if you were Jim Riggleman? Would you have Shipley bunt? Would you try a hit and run? Would you just let him swing away? Shipley hits left-handers okay. Remember, if you bunt and he's successful, basically what you're doing is leaving up to Phil Plantier, a left-handed hitter, against the left-handed pitcher, and that's your one shot because the pitcher is up after him. Well, he could hit another 3-run homer. You never know. Yeah, that's why Shipley swung. Drive to center, but it's playable. And caught by Martinez. But that's why they didn't sacrifice in that spot, if you're wondering. So now they will pitch to Gwynn. Although I thought the Padres pitched rather carefully to Barry Bonds in that 2-out, no-run situation.
Rather carefully?
Were any of those pitches within a foot of the strike zone?
No, and Ronald Reagan is rather conservative. Rather carefully. Oh, yeah.
So Gwynn, who's already tied a major league record tonight. You know, that's a very small group.
Well,
it's a small club. Ty Cobb, Wee Willie Keeler, and Stan Musial. They all had 4 5-hit games in a season. Tony still has 2 more months to go.
Don't put it past him.
No, I sure don't. By the way, he's now just 6 hits away from 2,000. I think I'd be here for that doubleheader Friday. Keeping an eye on Gutierrez.
I was talking about Musial and that statue of him in that batting crouch outside the stadium in St. Louis where they honored him. And he has on occasion in interviews said that, yeah, you know, the first couple of years that was out there and I was going home at night from my restaurant or a speaking engagement, I would change my course of going home to pass by the stadium to look at it.
Drive to right center. It is going to drop. It's a 6-hit game for Gwynn. Gutierrez goes to third. The winning run is 90 feet away. Tony Gwynn is 5 hits away from 2,000, but now you have an interesting situation. You have Plantier up, but remember, the pitcher's up next.
Just reached down on the breaking ball down and just plunks it into center field. Yes, it is his first 6-hit game ever.
So the Giants have already given the sign, and Plantier will be walked intentionally. The bases are loaded. There's 1 out. And Pedro Martinez, the hitter, with Jarvis Brown to follow. And here comes Dusty Baker. And they're going to talk about the possibility of a squeeze. So Tony Gwynn bending on the waist out at second base. You know, when he got his 5th hit and he's standing at first base, wouldn't you have loved to heard the conversation between he and Will Clark? They were smiling and talking. Boy, do they respect each other.
Remember the end of the '89 season? Padres chasing the Giants, and then went to that last weekend, and they had already been eliminated, so they were back, you know, more than 3 games with 3 games to go in that weekend series. But then it was who's going to win the batting championship, Will Clark or Tony Gwynn, and they slugged it out. It was just a show. It was a show, and this guy won his batting title.
And he'll win another one, maybe. So here's Martinez, left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Boy, the infield is in tight. Burba, the right-hander in the bullpen, he could come on and face Jarvis Brown if they get Martinez without the run score. Look how shallow the outfield is. Look at Barry Bonds in left field. Unbelievable. That's the shallowest I've ever seen. There's a bunt. It's a force at the plate. He scores. The Padres win. A squeeze by Pedro Martinez, and the Padres win. In 12 innings, the final score, San Diego 11, San Francisco 10.